Social media has been around for over 20 years, and we all at some point in time have felt the rub of it not being as good as it should be. We've all been worried about saying something or posting something, or sense that we weren't going to get the reward for the effort that we were putting into what we posted on social media. I'm sure you can think of these times just as much as I can. Hi, I'm Ryan, and I created Niche, the world's first human interaction platform. And you've heard me talk about that for a while now, human interaction platform. But what exactly is that? Is this just a term I made up to rebrand social media? Or is there actually some substance behind the thought of having a new type of platform? Let's find out. It's my responsibility to define what a human interaction platform is and highlight the differences between the other options that are out there. So there are 6 main things that go into a human interaction platform that it must have in order to meet the criteria. And there's one thing that we did at Niche that is more important than any other focus we could have. Stay tuned to the end of the video to find out what that one thing is. On a human interaction platform, you get to choose whether you see information or not. You, in contrast, get to go in and choose to interact with topics within your interests. And other people get the same freedom. They get to choose to interact with you on those topics of interest. There are not any gatekeepers. There aren't people behind the scenes moderating what goes up and what doesn't. It is a free flow of information. And if it's good information, you get to sort and filter to see more of it. If it's bad information, you get to block it so you don't have to see any more of it. So instead of having gatekeepers deciding what you get to see and what you don't get to see, and promoting certain information over other information, inherently putting in the person's bias who's making those decisions, you get to be the person with the bias. You get to choose if you want to see something or if you don't. In a human interaction platform, there are no algorithms. The ownership and responsibility for what you see is put on you. You get to choose what you follow, and you get to block things you don't want to see. So those things that you follow then actually show up in your feed, and the things that you block you never see again. In contrast, social media platforms put the onus onto an algorithm, a computer program, to decide what's most important to us, to try and get us to interact and engage more. In a human interaction platform, you are in control. You get the ability to have a choice. Social media platforms reward us for our divisive content. If your content makes someone angry or sad or frustrated, those are the types of things that get promoted. So it's opposite of how things work in the real world. We aren't going to interact with things that frustrate us or people that frustrate us on a regular basis. Usually we're going to stay away from those types of things. Human interaction platforms, in contrast, would have some sort of reward system to reinforce positive behavior. Instead of constantly giving you a dopamine hit off of that angry or sad post that someone else put up, in a human interaction platform, you get to encourage the person posting to show them that the content they gave was good, to encourage more of that type of content. In Niche, this is Stardust. It's a simple credit type of system where you get rewarded for posting and you get rewarded for people liking and commenting on your posts. But it doesn't have to be that. It could be an array of things. But in a human interaction platform, there has to be some sort of reward system to reinforce positive behavior and to reward those users that are influencing others. On social media platforms, we're able to follow pages and hashtags, but it's not focused. Anybody can go in and make a new page or make a new hashtag, which means there's 100 different pages about pugs. So if you love pugs, you've got to follow all of them. And then the algorithm decides when to show you those types of things, instead of putting you in control. A human interaction platform gives different abilities to filter and customize. On Niche, we chose to create niches. And those are different spaces where you can talk about specific topics that are curated by the company. But you still have a say. You get to request new niches and upvote ones that you think would be interesting that you want to interact with. So these are targeted areas where you get to see everything instead of having to follow 100 different pages or 1,000 different hashtags. You know, when you want to ask a question about a specific interest that you have inside of that niche, everybody is going to be able to see it and respond. On social media, we can't customize what we see or choose what comes up in our feed. Until recently, we couldn't even see a chronological order of things on most platforms. You don't have the option to choose. It's not a free platform where you get to do whatever you want to do and see whatever you want to see. You don't get the granular interactions of saying that I want to see cat videos over my lunch break. In contrast, a human interaction platform gives us the ability to choose. It gives us the ability to filter and sort and discard and keep the things that we want to see and remove the things that we don't. It gives us the power. It puts it in the hands of the individual. So because there's no algorithms, you and I become our own personal algorithm. We get to decide, we get to choose. If we like something, we get to keep it. If we don't like something, we throw it away. The same way it is in the real world. If you don't like tacos, you don't eat tacos. If you do like skiing, you do everything in your power to get on the slopes that winter. Social media platforms at the end of the day are not free speech platforms. They're in control. They're a centralized body that chooses what you see. They get to tell you if you are allowed to do certain things. In contrast, on a human interaction platform, it's put on you, the individual. You get to decide. Just like in the real world, you get to choose what you eat for lunch and what you say to your friend at work. And you take on the risk of whether what you said is going to help and aid in the relationship that you're building, or if it's going to frustrate that person and put an end to it. The decision comes down to you. Do you want to give up control to someone else and allow them to push their own biases on you, like in social media platforms? Or would you rather have the freedom to have the control to decide what you want to see and when you want to see it? There's not really a middle ground. Either you are in control or you are not in control. And the decision now is up to you. Human interaction platforms aim to have diversity and inclusivity of thoughts and ideas. Through the removal of gatekeepers and algorithms, a human interaction platform would achieve this. In its place, it takes users and it empowers them to decide what they want to see and when they want to see it. It gives them the ability to choose, and it elevates the user above the technology. It focuses on the interactions instead of the emotions that are behind the posts that people are making. The focus of a human interaction platform has to be on positive engagement and customization. So you actually get to choose what you see, and you actually like the experience you have inside of the platform. And finally, it has to hinge on freedom of speech. Because if we don't get to have unique opinions, we don't get to have a unique experience. Either we get to express ourselves, or someone else gets to tell us how we can express what we believe. Human interaction platforms are not just a clever ploy or a rebranding of an old technology. This isn't some new marketing scheme to get you to click. It is, in and of itself, a new type of technology. I hope to see more human interaction platforms as time goes on, more people developing things in this technology that elevates the user over that technology and gives us the ability to choose. Niched is the world's first human interaction platform, and it is totally within your control. To learn more and to sign up for this revolution, go to beta.niche.com. If you're interested in this, click on this next video. I almost forgot. The most important thing that Niched is focused on that's more important than any of this, and you may have figured it out already if you were listening, but you could create a human interaction platform with all of these things and still miss this one thing that we have focused on at Niched, and that's you. I want you involved. This is the first time in history where someone gets to define what a platform is, where a user on the individual level gets to have a say. I want you to have a say. This is not my platform. This is our platform. And together, we will make it something amazing that lasts for a very long time.